Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is my second Christmas nail design. I'll have one more, but in this one I wanted to do another aquarium nail design, and I figured why not do it Christmas themed. So if you want to see how I did these nails, then just keep watching. So I'm starting off by gluing on some stiletto nail tips, of course, but if you're not a nail girl like I am, you could probably go ahead and use nail forms with these. I'm not too sure about the aquarium nail if you can use a nail form, but I'm a tip girl, always have been, always will be, so that's what I'm using. I always use the same long stiletto tips, and I always link them in the description box if you want to get the ones that I use. So I just cut them down just a little bit and shape them better, and I'm just gluing them on. So I'm just getting another nail tip. I'm choosing the exact same size that I used on my ring nail, and this will be glued onto the back of my nail tip, and this will make the aquarium tank. And I start by trimming it down a little bit at a time, and then I place it on the back of the nail tip to make sure that I haven't taken off too much. I always just take off just the right amount. I can always go back in and file if I haven't taken off enough, but you definitely don't want to take off too much of the nail tip. I just do a little bit at a time, and then I measure it up on the back of the nail, and once I'm happy with the length of the nail tip, then I'll go in with some nail glue and I just glue it on to the nail tip, and this makes the aquarium tank. I just really love doing the reverse method when I do acrylic nails. I don't know, you guys sick of seeing me do the reverse method where I have the pink nail bed and glitter on the tip? Or would you rather see me do full acrylic nails where there's a full color on the entire tip? Let me know, I'm just curious about that. I always love doing a French tip because it looks really nice and elegant where I do the pink nail bed with glitter and nail art on the tip. So let me know. Anyway, I'm going to show you how I do it on my thumbnail, and I just apply my cover pink starting at the tip. Well, not the tip, but where I want the edge of my nail bed to be. I always do it quite longer because it just looks nicer with longer nails. And I just place one bead there, then I pull the bead upwards and outwards to make sort of like a V shape. Then I just add more beads of the cover pink to fill in the nail bed area. Once the acrylic is dried, I go in with a 180 grit nail file, and I just go around the edge of the nail bed just to make it really nice and clean. And here are my nails after I've applied my cover pink powder to all of my nail beds. I just love how they look. They look so nice and clean and elegant. This is my second attempt at a hashtag not polish or color blocking nail design. My first, I think, in my opinion, was a little bit of a fiasco, especially after the first couple of lines that I did. It just looked a little blotchy. I don't know. But I think this one turned out so much better, and I'm doing a not polish or a color block like candy cane design on my middle nail. I really loved how it turned out. So I'm just starting out with the not polished design or the color blocking design, whatever you prefer to call it. I'm starting out with a bead of red acrylic, and I'm placing that on the side of my nail, and I'll do the same on the other side. And then I just go in with an X-acto knife and I just cut to make it sharp, and yeah. And I'm not using a brand new X-acto, did I say X-acto? X-acto is what I meant to say. I'm not using a brand new X-acto knife because that would be way too sharp and you don't want to risk cutting yourself. The one I'm using I've had for quite a while and it's very dull. It can't even cut paper, but it cuts through the acrylic, which is what I need it to do. So after I place the red and let it dry just a tiny bit, not too long, I go in with an X-acto knife and I cut to make the edge sharp, and then file it a little bit to make it even more crisp. Then I go in with a white acrylic, wait for it to dry just a little bit, cut it, file it, and then move on to the next color. Okay, now it's time to glue on the other nail tip that I just measured earlier on in the video, and I'm just using regular cheap nail glue to glue it on to the back of my nail tip, and this will form the aquarium tank, but I'm not done yet. I'm still going to go back in with some clear acrylic to seal the edge of the aquarium nail because the nail glue would not hold. It would eventually fall apart, liquid would come out, oil will go everywhere, it would be a mess. So after I glue on the tip, I'm going to go in with some clear acrylic just to seal the edges. Since I applied a Dashing Diva nail art under my nails, I am able to just peel off the nails, and this especially comes in handy when I'm doing an aquarium nail because I always like to be able to remove the nail, fill up the nail tank, put the baby oil in it, seal it up, then glue it back on my nail, and I can do this because I use the Dashing Diva nail guards. Anyway, I'm just putting some Christmas themed little nail decorations inside of the tank, and I'm using some big metallic green Christmas trees, some white snowflakes, and a little bit of glitter. And to seal off the aquarium nail, I just cut off a piece of the nail tip. These are the nail tips that I use. They're extremely long and they come with a bit of a big well, so I just cut that off, and that's what I use to seal off the aquarium tip. And I'm just cutting it off, gluing it on, and yeah, that's the aquarium nail. After I've glued on the little plastic piece to seal off the aquarium nail, there's still a little bit of a gap, so I just go in with clear acrylic just to seal all the edges so none of the oil comes leaking out. So that's just what I'm doing. I'm just adding a very small bead of clear acrylic to make sure that top of the aquarium nail is completely sealed. To get the aquarium tip back on, I actually got a question about this in my last video. Someone was a little bit confused. I don't know if I showed it in that video, but I just get another Dashing Diva nail guard, put it back onto my ring nail, then apply a little bit of nail glue to the back of the aquarium tip on the nail bed area, and then I just glue it back onto my nail, and voila! It's done. Continuing on to my other nails, and I'm just applying a very fine metallic red. This is actually a holographic red, but red is one of those colors that's not really holographic because it just kind of shifts to orange, like red and orange. So not really calling it holographic because it really isn't. It's more of just like a metallic red, but this is just a very fine red, and I'm just applying this to the nail tip area. I always apply a very fine glitter, and this just helps mask any gaps in the chunky glitter that I'll be applying on top. Next, I'm applying this chunky Christmassy glitter mix that I made using glitters from Glitter Heaven Australia, and I'm using their holographic chunky red and their holographic silver chunky glitter. I just mixed those two together, and I'm applying that to the nail tip on my pinky and index nails. After the acrylic is fully dried on the tips, I'm going in with some nail glue, and I'm just placing very small amounts on the nail tip where I'm going to place the metallic green Christmas trees that I also used in my aquarium tip. As soon as I saw them, I had to order them. By the way, I got them on Etsy if you're curious. I'll put a link. I always link everything I use. And so I'm just applying some glue, and I'll be placing 2 of the metallic green Christmas trees on my nail. And now it's time to encapsulate all of the nails, and I thought I would start on the aquarium nail because this nail gives me the most anxiety. I didn't want to apply too much acrylic because then it would be a little bit too cloudy, and I wanted to add enough so that the whole nail was even. So I'm just adding just the right amount of acrylic to encapsulate the nails so the nail bed is even with the nail tip, and then I'll be encapsulating all the other nails as well. So after the acrylic is fully dried, I go in and I file and shape the nails. I totally spaced out, and I didn't even record that part. I don't know why, but I forgot to, or whatever the reason was. So I just buffed the surface of the nails because this NSI Attraction, for me, it doesn't need to be filed like the other acrylic systems I've used in the past, so I just need to buff it. And then I just go in with a 180 or 100 grit file, and I file and shape the sides of the nails. And now I'm just going in and applying a gel top coat, and I cure that in my UV lamp for 2 minutes to make these nails ultra glossy and beautiful. I wanted to add a little bit more sparkle to these nails, so I'm going in with some Swarovski crystals and I'm applying them around the cuticle area on my index and pinky nails, and I'm using light Siam and dark moss green. And here's the final look. I hope you all love these Christmas themed aquarium nails. I really love how they turned out. They took me quite a while, especially with the aquarium nail and the Not Polish candy cane nail, but they're worth it. I think they turned out quite beautiful. So let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks so much for watching and have a Merry Christmas. Bye!